In today's video, guys, I'm going to break down how you can collect data to be a profitable trader. Now, we're going to go through the ways that I like to collect data, but also you might be surprised because a lot of people, they're under the impression that data collection is simply just taking a screenshot and then putting that in a journal. It's not the case. That's literally just the tip of the iceberg. And today I want to actually break down the softwares that I use, how I use Chat GPT, AI, Discord, Notion, you've probably heard of it. And we're going to go through the ins and the outs, all the things that I've done. And I'll show you examples of how I journal as well to make you a better trader, to potentially make you profitable if you are not already. With that being said, guys, let's get straight into the video. Sit back, relax, and let's get into it. Let's go. Now, there's 4 areas of data collection that I want you guys to write down. Number 1, obviously, is your photos. Number 2 could be your videos. Number 3 is going to be your statistical data collection. That's like your risk to reward, win rate, all the rest of it. And the last one, it's the willingness for you to learn. So yes, data collection does require some patience and does require some time, but I think a lot of people, they're not willing to put in the time, and all they're willing to do is to take a screenshot, mark out the PD arrays, and they think that's enough. On the screen here, I'll show you an example. This is an example of a photo that I've taken of a trade that I've taken in the past. Now, yes, you've got to collect this screenshot, and yes, you've got to stow it away, but imagine someone asks you to describe what a book is about, and you give them the title of the book to describe it. You're not giving them the information they need, right? The pages in the book, the content in the book are the ways in which you analyze your data, the ways in which you analyze those photos. The photo itself, that screenshot of the trade you take, it doesn't matter if you've marked the PDRAs or not. That is simply just the title of the book. It's not the content, it's not the narrative. And by collecting photos and putting them away, you're really doing yourself a disservice. So this is the process that I take. This is the level of depth that you need when you're collecting these screenshots and you're writing your annotations. So for example, I took a trade today. This is called for my premium members during the Asian session. Now, I took a few trades, but one of the ones that I called was a long position from this inverse fair value gap. And that's roughly what my trade was. I did take a partial, and then I took the last contract off when we pulled back. Now, if you just do this, you're doing what the average person does. And remember, if you do average things, guys, you're going to get average results. So you need to do things that are extraordinary to get better results. That is not enough. That's not going to be good for Chat GPT. It's not going to be good for your journal. You're not going to be able to review this enough. You need to do a bit more detail. Yes, have that there, but for now, get rid of this. The first step, obviously, mark out all the PD arrays. In this case, I used an inverse fair value gap, but you want to also talk about other things. So here we saw price come down. We saw price sweep a level of sell side. And again, mark these things out. So mark out sell side liquidity sweep. You got to put in the time. You got to put in the work. If you're not willing to do this, guys, it's going to be very hard to stay disciplined if you can't even journal your trades properly. So keep this in mind. This is how I journal, and these are the things that I like to do, especially when you're learning. Once you've learned your model, you can do a little bit less, but when you're not confident, you need to do as much work as you can to build those repetitions in the market. So we've got the sell side liquidity sweep. We have impulse coming up. So I'm going to make a little note of that here. Impulse reaction after sweeping sell side liquidity. Perfect. What else do we have? We have the power of 3. So we've got accumulation here. I'm going to mark that out, say in blue. We've got manipulation coming on down here. We'll mark that out in red. And I'm going to make note of that also about here. So what else can we do? We can mark out the inverse fair value gap. We can mark out the macro, which actually occurred a little bit earlier. So the first macro was here, 650 all the way until 710. So this trade was actually a macro-based trade. Entry comes just outside of the macro. And this is the level of narration I'm talking about, but you put this in a big paragraph, which I'll also do for you guys here today. The way I know that you may need to collect more data is by asking you 2 questions. And answer yourself honestly. Number 1, how many times have you been in a trade but closed the trade early because you're fearful? And how many times have you lost multiple trades in a row, which by the way is okay, I've done that many times, but how many times have you lost multiple trades in a row and you feel like the next one is going to be a loser as well? See, if you answered yes to any of these, I know you need to collect more data, and data collection will give you the confidence to take losses and still believe in your next trade as being a winner. It'll give you confidence to take a trade, to hold onto the trade, to hold to your targets, to trail your stop appropriately. A lot of people trail their stop way too aggressively. And the reason why is because you don't have enough data collected. You don't prove to yourself, you haven't proved to yourself yet that your system works. You haven't seen it with your own eyes. And that's what I preach to anyone that comes in my Discord, in this community on YouTube for free, Telegram, Twitter, whatever it is. If you haven't seen it for yourself, it doesn't matter what ICT posts, what I post, what I send to you. If you have not seen it for yourself, you are not going to have confidence in the model. You're going to get out of trades early. You're going to be fearful. You're going to be greedy, trying to make your money back. And it's going to be a very stressful process. A lot of people are going to ask me, well, where can I collect data? That's the first point. Like, where can you actually put your screenshots before you analyze them? And a lot of people like to use Notion. So on the screen here, I'm going to get a screenshot of a Notion journal that I use for a little bit of time. So I don't use Notion that much. A lot of people like it, that's fine. You can collect data there. What I did personally, I created my own Discord channel, not the one you might be in already, but a separate channel, a private channel, Have a look at this, right? So this is a channel that I've created for myself. Look at all these things. What I did, I created my own private Discord channel. You can see all these, channels here. These are from different days, right? And if I click on some random one here, you can see these are funded accounts I had in the past, just charting out. So you can have a look at what I've done, right? If I zoom in here so you guys can see, I'm marking out all these things. I'm marking out the different PD rays that I enter from. Yes, I'm marking things out, but notice how I'm actually writing some things underneath that too. A lot of people, all they do is they collect a screenshot, they put it away, they have no narration. You need to narrate the market. So every trade that you take, yes, you're taking a photo, that's data collection. Yes, you're marking out all the PD rays you take that you use to enter the trade, yes. But you also should be writing like a snippet or like a small paragraph describing what happened. What happened before you took the trade? What happened during the trade? What you entered with? What you thought would happen? What actually happened? Did the market move quick? Did it move slow? Like these are the things you need to do. So on the screen here, I'll get a snippet up just of an example of something that you could write. Right? So for example, you may write something like this. Price formed a 3 drives pattern and it came into a higher time frame fair value gap. Notice how I'm using these key terms. That's important for later when we use Chat GPT. 3 drives pattern is one key term. Fair value gap, higher time frame is the second. I noticed that after doing this, the market bounced up and offered an inversion fair value gap. That's the third key term. This occurred during a macro and the inversion fair value gap was created with a lot of impulse. I noticed also that there was a lot of liquidity above and as such, I took a position. The trade won or lost, whatever it did. If it won, great. If it lost, it lost. That's all you need to do. Don't dwell about it. Leave it there. The trade's done. But you're going to probably ask me, like, why do you need this much detail? Like, why do I need all these things? Because not only for yourself, you can go back and you can understand and recognize these key terms. Your brain's going to start clicking. Every time you see the word fair value gap, every time you see the word higher time frame, every time you see the word macro, every time you see the word optimal trade entry, whatever it is, impulse, you're going to start to see, just by reviewing your trades at the end of the week, that some of the best trades have these things. And while you guys are here, if you're still here, join the free Discord. On the screen here, I'm putting a little snippet of a free A+ checklist that I've got as a part of my free Discord. It's free. And from my own data collection, these are like the 7 things that I'll be looking for in your trades to make them A+. I've done some of the hard work for you guys, but again, until you see it yourself, you won't trust it and you'll still be fearful. So please do your own data collection, but use this as a framework. So now what? You say to me, Ruben, I've collected the screenshot. I've put that either in a Notion journal or in my own Discord channel. And I'll show you some examples on the screen here of what my channels look like. And there's so many, right? I've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. What should you do next? Well, these are some questions that you should ask yourself. Again, I'll get those on the screen here. I'm going to read them out with you guys. These are things you've got to review. At the end of each week, at the end of each day, review these. Number 1, which PD arrays are you using the most? Number 1. Number 2, which combinations of PD arrays or confluences yielded the best and the worst results? Not just the best. You can't negate your losing trades. They're crucial to look over. But which PD arrays do you use most on the winning trades, on the losing trades? And also, are there any repeatable patterns that you notice? Statistics, everyone loves to talk about it. Everyone loves to, talk about risk to reward, win rate, and all the rest of it. But I'm going to be very blunt and very straightforward here. There are so many ways to be profitable, so many, win rates and risk percentages that you can use to be profitable. You're going to find something that suits you. And for me personally, I balance out different risk to rewards based on the market conditions. Let's talk about it. Now, there's 5 things I want you guys to focus on. Again, I'll get a little snippet on the screen here. I'm going to read them out with you, and then we'll discuss how you collect this data using my results as well. So the first thing you want to look at is your win rate. Everyone talks about it. We'll get into it. The second is your profit factor. The third is going to be your risk to reward. The fourth is going to be your average winning and losing time. The fifth is going to be looking at reducing your average loser. And again, let's get into more detail just in a sec. And the last 2 things here, little bonus things, these are things that you're actually gonna have to put the work in to do. They're not things that you can use Chat GPT for. They're not things that, you can go into your Top Step dashboard or My Fund and Futures dashboard. You can't look at this on the dashboard. You're gonna have to actually review yourself. And these last 2 things are these. Number 1, how many times did price stop you at break even and then ran to your full TP? Write that down. And number 2, how many times did price stop you at break even, but the price would have actually ran to your full stop loss and stop you out for a full stop? These are the 7 things, right? The 7 tenets, maybe you want to call them, for risk management. And you have to collect data on risk management. Too many people are focused on, taking screenshots, making videos, journaling these trades away, but they don't focus on how to improve the actual risk management. And the risk management, guys, it's not the strategy. The risk management often is the thing that makes people unprofitable. Yes, emotional things, yes, psychology, but the risk management is crucial. So on the screen here, you'll see my stats from a Top Step account I've got. Now, I'm rocking about a 1-to-1 risk to reward, as you can see, about a 67% win rate. Now, with these stats, you need to take this a step further, right? A 1-to-1 and a 60-70% win rate is profitable, but you can also be profitable with a 1-to-1 risk to reward and a 55% win rate. But how is it the case? You have to get good at point number 5. You have to get good at reducing your average loser. If you don't get good at this, it's going to be very hard to do it. And a lot of people aren't willing to put in the time. They don't want to put in months, but you have to put in months. It's not enough, guys, to collect data for 2 weeks and think that the way of you doing things is wrong or right. You need to collect data for longer. I'm talking months on end. And then once you collect the data for a month, then you can make adjustments to what you want to do. So yeah, data collection is creating photos and taking screenshots and putting them either in a Notion journal or in your own Discord channel, or, you know, writing down in a journal. It doesn't matter whether you like mechanical, manual, or automatic methods. It doesn't matter. That's a very small fraction. That is literally the tip of the iceberg. What comes next after you've got those photos or screenshots is how do you analyze them? And we talked about different questions you can ask. You have to analyze each photo, each screenshot, each trade every single week and consistently do this for months on end until you're confident that your model will play out again and again. And then once you've done that, you can also use ChatGPT to see repeatable patterns for you. And you do this while you're looking at risk management data. See, the thing is, a lot of people want to rush the process and think that they can collect data in 2 weeks or 1 month and think that it's going to be perfect. No, I am still refining my edge. I'm still trying to get better, and you guys will be too. It doesn't matter if you've been trading for 2 months, for 6 years, for 10 years. As traders, we're always trying to improve. There's no perfection, but there's always improvement that we can have as traders. So the last part of this video, if you stuck around, I'm going to show you how I like to use ChatGPT to collect data and some of the prompts that you can use, some of the ways you can actually develop ChatGPT to almost be a journal for you as well, if you really wanted to. Alrighty, so on the screen here you can see ChatGPT. If you want more information on this or like a more in-depth video, if you're new to ChatGPT, let me know. I'll make a complete video on this, completely fine. This is going to require a few months or at least a few weeks of inputting screenshots into ChatGPT. And let's go back to when I was talking about writing like a paragraph for each trade that you take. Those paragraphs you want to input into ChatGPT, but you also want to input the screenshot that has all your marked out PD arrays. So I'm going to do that here for you guys. We'll get into the process and then we'll talk about how for me doing this month on end, I now can ask ChatGPT what are the main confluences that yield good trades and what are the main things I should look for when taking a trade. Let's get into it. All right, so I've put that photo now, that screenshot into ChatGPT. I've asked it this question: can you tell me what confirmations I used to enter and why this is a good trade based on the previous trades I've taken? These are the confirmations that I used, right? Obviously power 3, sell side sweep, impulse, inversion fair value gap, macro, and clear upside target. This is why it's a good trade. These are the good things about this trade that I took. And again, this is the checklist that I created from the data collection that I've personally done. So what you're going to be able to do, guys, is once you get really good at this and you've got enough data in ChatGPT, you're going to be able to take all your trades, put them into ChatGPT. You could even use ChatGPT as a journal. You don't have to use Discord or Notion. Put it into ChatGPT and it can create for you your win rate, your risk to reward, everything. But obviously prop firms have that on their dashboard already. So again, really exciting stuff. I use a bit of AI, but majority of it from the get-go, before I even started using ChatGPT, was actually just me putting in the hard yards. Literally like for months and months and months, collecting screenshots like you see on the screen here and analyzing the patterns, figuring out what worked, what didn't, you know, what combinations of things worked more than others. And again, guys, this is what's required. I hope you've enjoyed this video. But that's that, guys. A lot of people want a video on how I collect data and what I personally say I do. And if you want another video on ChatGPT, feel free to let me know. I can also make a part 2 on this. I'm happy to do that. But with that being said, it's been great having you guys here. And I want you guys to really consider doing some of these things to improve your trading. And if it helps you, please let me know below. I'm open to any suggestions for future videos. If you enjoy this video, let me know, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. And we're getting very close to 10K subs. I'm going to do a big giveaway when we get to 10K. So keep your eyes off that. But with that being said, guys, appreciate all your support. We'll talk very soon. Peace out. All the best.